This is Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox.
It is Financial Straight Talk, and we are glad to have you with us each and every weekend, powered, of course, by Wadadley Financial Group. My name's Kevin McAlpin, joined this week by Lucas Kalin, investment advisor representative with Wadadley Financial Group. Jim Fox on assignment this week. He'll rejoin the program next week. So, of course, make sure you set a reminder. Join us every week as we talk all things retirement. Of course, we spend a lot of time talking taxes and how you want to, of course, forward think. And tax planning is not just for April the 15th. In retirement, you want that long-term tax planning, and of course, time in the market, why that's difficult enough, especially more dangerous as you get close to retirement. And if you'd like to learn more, you want to get on the team at Wadadley Financial Group's calendar today. Again, folks, there's no cost, there's no obligation, and you can schedule that consultation right now by dialing 321-414-7526. That's 321-414-PLAN, or online anytime at getfst.com. So, Lucas, one thing we know that is the case, we are certainly living longer thanks to advances in science and medical technology. But with that brings cases of chronic diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. The rates on both those are soaring. Believe it or not, last year alone, over 500,000 new cases of Alzheimer's and almost about 90,000 new cases of Parkinson's. So I want to play this sound for you. This is Joy Laverde. She's the author of a book, Who Will Take Care of Me When I'm Old? And she recently told Morningstar that seniors must prepare before.
People don't realize how very expensive these diseases will be and how it will wreak havoc on our financial stability. So it isn't a matter of when we're diagnosed, what can we do? We need to think way, way in advance that if this happens, then I have my legal documents in order and I have my financial house in place. Unfortunately, I see so many situations where people say, I never thought it would happen to me.
And obviously, Lucas, I'm assuming this is a situation that you've heard a similar refrain on over the years, right? People just maybe in denial that they're going to end up in a situation like this.
Yes, I've certainly seen a lot of people not have any plan in place for a long-term care need. And this could be because they're like, oh, my parents are living to 90 or so, which, sure, that gives you a better chance, but there's still a chance that you do have to deal with these long-term care needs. And as Joy mentioned, these costs are astronomical for long-term care services. And I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this, but I know there's some misconception that Medicare takes care of long-term care needs. That's not fully true. They're not there for long-term care needs. If you do have long-term care needs, what you'd end up having to do, if there's no other plan in place, and you're relying on these government programs, they do have a limit to this. You have to spend down your assets to pay for long-term care, and then when you get to a certain threshold, Medicaid does kick in. Medicaid will take care of some long-term care needs at a base level, funded by government. So take that as you will. Yes, they do have a spend down, and that gets to so long as you spend down $2,000 or $3,000 of total assets, then yes, you can qualify for the government program, which, in my opinion, is not the best plan, especially if you're thinking you want to leave any legacy for your heirs, and if you want to pass down assets to your beneficiaries. That would not be a recommended plan, not on my part, not at all. So yes, there should be a plan in place if you desire to leave things for your beneficiaries. If you don't have that plan, you could very easily see that you have to spend down your assets, and that not only is that bad for you, that's bad for your heirs. Mm-hmm. Planning early, and it's probably because I'm young, but my mind goes, plan early, plan early, plan early. Which, yes, plan as early as you can. And if now is as early as you can, which is true for everyone, then yes, I would recommend planning now if you don't already have a plan in place. And I understand that long-term care insurance, we have people come in all the time, and as soon as I mention long-term care insurance, I see their faces scrunch up, they pull away. It's almost as if they were a vampire seeing the sunlight. It's just, I get it. The prices, by the time you end up looking into those, most people have related the experience to me that they're astronomical. I don't want to have to pay that. So we understand that long-term care is a difficult conversation. Mm-hmm. But there are ways to look at it other than necessarily a long-term care insurance policy. So having the conversation, seeing what opportunities are available to you would be highly recommended, because as I said, you might not want to have to qualify for the Medicaid thing if you don't have to, because that can just destroy the value of your estate rapidly, because those long-term care costs add up. They really do. Something I also want to mention is that we actually, in our office, I know in an earlier segment we might have mentioned it, that we have these back office events in-house where we do these educational seminars, and one of those we actually did last Friday was a long-term care seminar. It was talking about exactly these things, exactly what we are talking about now, which is there are alternatives to long-term care insurance, but the bottom line is if you don't have a plan in place, that can be a dangerous situation for you. So thinking about these things as early as you can is always a good idea.
Yeah, and obviously, thinking about your aging family members or yourself or your spouse, right? No one wants to think about being in a situation like long-term care. But again, whether it's denial or whether it's thinking, well, by the time I get to that point, science, medicine will continue to evolve. But Lucas, again, it all starts with a plan. That's what really the general theme of this show has been: planning ahead, looking forward 20 years, 30 years down the road. While you might not want to think about it, there's a chance you're going to be in a situation, and the last thing you want to do is look back and go, man, I wish I could jump in a time machine and put this as part of my retirement plan, right?
Certainly so. It's plan. I mean, I swear Jim says it every other word if you're listening to him on air, but it's because it's so important, just having a plan. Mm-hmm. And something I actually didn't think about earlier when I was talking, but I'm thinking about now, so I'm sure as heck going to say it, is a lot of people, one of their concerns with long-term care isn't only the cost. Mm. It's also, can I leave, if I'm paying for a long-term care insurance policy and it doesn't pay out all that money, I didn't get to leave it to my heirs. Mm. And I just want to make sure people are aware that for some people, there are options that allow you to, if you don't use the benefits, to leave the money you put in there for your heirs. So it reinforces my point that looking into the options early as possible, and again, as early as possible for everyone is now. Mm-hmm. Looking into it as early as possible gives you the best chance to take advantage of the opportunities that might be available to you. And if you don't look into the opportunities, you'll never know they're there. So give us that call.
Yeah. Again, folks, that number is 321-414-7526. Again, 321-414-PLAN. If you've been plan early, it's never too early to start a plan. And Lucas, look, even for someone who might be in their 30s or 40s, you're not even in the mindset of thinking about what happens when you're 60, 70, or 80. But even if you're in your 30s or 40s, these are things that you can start laying the groundwork for, again, well ahead of time. So you're not trying to play catch up later in life, isn't it?
Very correct. If you're playing catch up later, you just don't have as many options. It's hard to say. It's unfortunate for those who have to plan at those later stages for any set of circumstances they've had to go through. To not be able to or be aware of the fact that planning early and planning for these things would be beneficial for them. But if you are 30, if you are 40, and you're listening to this and you're thinking, this is for retirees. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll let you know. I am in my 20s, and I get to see this day in and day out, and my only thought every day is, I'm so fortunate I get to be aware of these things early. Mm-hmm. And if you are listening and you are maybe in your 30s, 40s, 50s, even that's earlier than retirement, you have opportunities that might not be available for you at those later ages. So, yes, pick up that phone. Give us a call. We can help you get an idea of what options are available to you. And doing so early is going to give you a leg up.
Yeah, really will. 321-414-7526. That's the number to get on the calendar with Jim Fox, Lucas Kalin, and the team at Wadadley Financial Group. 321-414-PLAN. Online, it's getfst.com. It stands for Financial Straight Talk. It's what you get on this show every single weekend. Getfst.com. And Lucas, before we run out of time on the show, we've talked a lot about the financial implications of long-term care, but there's also also really the emotional side of things as well. Whether it's, some of these chronic diseases where we talked about, like Alzheimer's, like Parkinson's, there's not only the financial side of this, but there's also the emotional piece that goes along with that as well. And I'm sure that that's probably hard for a lot of folks to really even visualize if they've never been in a position where they've had a family member dealing with a situation like this, right?
That's very true. And I'll be upfront and honest. I'm so fortunate not to have had to gone through taking care of someone, watching someone go through these long-term care qualifying events. But I do see clients here and there that come in, and I see them just, unfortunately, their physical capabilities, their mental capabilities are diminishing due to these chronic diseases. And it is truly sad to see, and I can only imagine what kind of troubles that their family has to go through to help them through this. And yes, it can be devastating. And for anyone going through that, it is something that would only be made harder by not having a plan in place.
Yeah.
And just knowing what your options are with the financial side, that's only going to help you when it comes to dealing with the reality of the situation for you and your family members.
Yeah.
So as a finance guy, obviously I'm going to talk about the finances. But yes, Kevin, I do understand that there is a heavy emotional side to this, and addressing that is very important. Understanding that there will be the emotional side will be there no matter what we're doing is very important, because it will also influence your decisions with those options you might have available to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no question about it. Again, folks, retirement planning, not something you want to try to handle on your own. Jim Fox, Lucas Kalin, the entire team at Wadadley Financial Group, they're right here on the Space Coast, and they're here to help. And again, folks, if you want to get on their calendar, there's no cost, there's no obligation. And if you'd like to learn more about long-term care as part of your retirement plan, pick up the phone, give them a call today. Again, that number is 321-414-7526. 321-414-PLAN, or online at getfst.com. That's getfst.com. Well, Lucas, great job of holding down the fort, keeping the big seat warm for Mr. Fox this week. And, of course, we'll welcome Jim back on next week's show. But, sir, he sets the bar very high. I'm going to leave the floor all yours today for the final word, my friend.
Well, Kevin, I got to thank you for having me. I appreciate being here, and the seat is still warm. Jim is keeping it. I'm keeping it warm for him, but he did a great job for me beforehand. It's still warm, I think. But yeah, I want to thank everyone who tunes in to listen to this. And I know my voice isn't as cute as Jim, but I'll let you know my face sure is, and you can believe that through the radio. So I just want to thank you all for listening in, and for anyone who's interested, please just give us that call, 321-414-7526. That is the best way to get the conversation started, and starting the conversation is the best way to understand what we could do for you. And I truly believe that there is potential for each and every one of you to benefit from at least opening the discussion. And lastly, for all of you regular listeners, you know who you are. I want to thank you for tuning in, week out. Jim loves hearing from any of you guys, and we appreciate all of you. We appreciate you. And we'll catch you next time on Financial Straight Talk.
Thanks for listening to Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox. To learn more, visit getfst.com.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Wadadley Financial Group. Wadadley Financial Group is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Wadadley Financial Group are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Wadadley Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any government agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Wadadley Financial Group.